are sitting. Other than, wow, that's a chrome dome. That is a real chrome dome. The light just basking off it, just reflecting. Let's get some glow from up there. Let's get some kind of matte finish.
Some stage makeup, eh?
Yeah, get some stage makeup like that. So here I am. This is Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and I am with the biggest game collector, I think, in my hometown. You're going to refute that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna refute that.
He runs the local. He runs the local board gaming community.
Yes.
And his name is
Dave Townsend.
Yes, and I guess I'm testing out co-hosts, and so far I think you're the short list. Just because some of my other co-hosts they want to show up, but it's either one or two things: they either don't have a good schedule or they don't know enough of the industry. And you're like, yeah, I like games.
And
I'm like, yeah, I like it when I roll the dice.
they do make a nice sound.
I've noticed that rolling dice, like, it's something tangible. So it's like, I want to do this. Do I succeed? I don't know. Of course you succeed. I feel like I want to have that roll, even though I want the roll to go in my favor all times. I feel like I have to roll that dice to see if I do awesome or not.
Yeah. Well, and not to quote Will Wheaton or anything, but he says dice are gamers' bling, right? If you take a look at getting dice gamer, like especially RPG gamers, so they're just like, yeah, I brought my own dice. Roll them out, they're like frosted blue dice.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah.
My ex from China gave me this bag. She had no idea. Like, it was a bag, about yay big with this twist, with a zip. It's a beautiful. It's like a suede bag with this little a little emblem of a hawk, and it was one of those really nice leather drawstrings.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I made this for you. I can't think of anything else. I'm like, you don't understand. This is the greatest thing you could have ever given me. This will last me a lifetime. She's like, you're joking. I'm like, no, trust me. You could not have given... I was just telling my fiance, irony, that the two things from China that I value the most, like I have tons, I have little toy, I have little knickknacks and souvenirs, like, glass balls and jade things and so forth. And the two most important things is a pair of plastic sandals that was given for free, and this dice bag that was given for free. Everything I paid for, usually in the trash.
Yeah.
The things I value the most, someone gave me a pair of extremely comfortable plastic slippers that I wear everywhere.
Yeah.
In the house, I'm just like, slip, and then it's like, and it works well in the sand because they're basically plastic.
Yeah. Well, I was even like, just the other night, we were playing Descent with a bunch of people and pull out Descent and open it up and go to pull out the dice, and it's in a chainmail dice bag that my wife got me, and they're just like, okay, that made the evening.
that does it right then and there. Okay, so we're gonna go through some top 5. We didn't say top 10.
No.
Because we don't want to waste people's time. We want to do this for 45 minutes. So we're gonna do, and we'll break these up, by the way. We're gonna do our top 5. We're gonna start these, and we'll see how successful these are. And if we get 50 hits or more, we'll do another one.
Sounds good.
Other than your friends and family, if we get enough hits, we'll do it. And this is, by the way, his game wall. This is not my game wall. I do not have a game wall this epic. Plus, mine's broken over 2 rooms, and one of them is a furnace. But guaranteed, we will definitely. And funny thing is, I bench you every single game here is probably back here somewhere, with the exception of 1 or 2.
That's on my list too. There's only about 1 or 2 that is not.
Okay, so we're gonna go through which one? The top 5 personal gateway games.
Sure.
I want to do the overhyped games last.
So the way I ordered mine was that I did 5 is the lowest, and 1 of course is being the highest for
the most personal gateway games.
Yeah.
Top 5 personal gateway games. So number 1 for me is the one I would get. The gateway game, by definition, for those people who don't know how to follow it, Mom, that a gateway game is a game that you would bring an outsider to play to get them into more advanced gaming other than Cards Against Humanity, or like the party game, things that you only do because there's 15 people and the person doesn't want to say no.
Exactly.
So these are personal gateway games. This is not, once again, I see we stress personal because this is not reflecting of anyone's list. This is our personal list.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go first? Want to go first?
All right. So counting down from 5.
We'll do. You'll do 5, and then I'll do 5, and
Yeah.
we'll bounce ideas off.
Sounds
So
good.
what's number 5?
For me, Ticket to Ride, and it would be the anniversary edition, not the regular editions, and only the reason why. And it's a nitpicky thing, but the anniversary edition, the trains actually fit in the spaces. And all the other editions,
did they not do before?
No, they didn't fit before. They're just a little bit too big for the spaces.
Really?
Yeah. But for whatever reason, they actually made them fit for the anniversary edition. It's just like,
So the anniversary edition is called the fixed edition.
exactly.
The day one DLC, the day one patched version.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow.
And it only took them 10 years to do it.
I've never. It's weird. I've never played the game.
It's an interesting game.
It's one of the classics.
It is, but it's one of those classics where either you love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
There is no middle ground with Ticket to Ride, and sometimes that can swing. You can have somebody who loves Ticket to Ride, but if they're just not feeling it, they're just like, yeah, I don't want to do this tonight.
My number 5 is in that same vein. I picked Carcassonne. Carcassonne is your classic tile game. And I say Carcassonne, I mean the basic version of Carcassonne, not any of the 18 expansions, the big box, and none of the dozen standalones. Just good old Carcassonne.
Now, does that include the river? Because the river's almost
Everyone says the river
right?
is basically mandatory, but I'll just say, look, no, it comes down to it. If somebody comes down, we'll probably play with the river, and that's probably it. But I don't want to play with the farmer.
Yeah.
The farmer breaks the game.
I agree.
It's one, like, I got all these meeples moving left and right, and for the entire game, I managed to generate 25 points, and my farmer generated another 45. This one meeple that I placed at the beginning of the game wins the game. I saw that in tabletop. I'm like, that seems broken to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing about Carcassonne, because the rules state you pick up your tile at the beginning of your turn, and everyone plays it when you pick up the tile at the end of your turn. As long as you have that one natural homebrew caveat that everybody plays with, that's that.
That's true. Yep.
So number 4.
Number 4. So for me, that would be Ascension, and that would be the one that I got my wife into. She loved number 1, but number 4, like it fed the itch for it. It set her off for deck building games, and she was gone. I ended up having to get her the collector's editions, travel editions. Like we have 4 or 5 different editions of Ascension.
I played Ascension about 1,000 times on my phone. I do not own Ascension. I will state that it is probably, when it comes to that format, because you have basically 2 types of the dominant deck builders, 2 types.
Yep.
The fixed stack deck building of Dominion,
Yep.
right, which a lot of games play with. And then there's the rotating flop deck builder,
Yes.
which we see a lot of games play with.
where you got the river and the sand.
Ascension is the best one of those,
I would agree.
right? And
Because it's constantly changing.
which I find it interesting that they made that after Star Realms. But it seems like Star Realms seems to get so much more love, and I don't know why.
I don't.
I think it's the competitive thing. I think it's the idea, because Star Realms is trying to take Ascension and turn it into the Magic format, and I don't think it works. But we'll get into that another time. But yeah, I think Ascension's a good deck building game.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd put it on my gateway games, but if you were to introduce them into a deck builder, personally, if I would introduce them to a deck builder, I would introduce them to a cooperative deck builder before a competitive deck builder. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, no, I can see where you're going with that one.
I would introduce them to Legendary or Harry Potter, which are very, very light cooperative deck builders.
Yes, I would agree with Legendary, but Harry Potter I found to be rather too complex for what it was.
It gets really complex later on.
Yeah.
If you're playing Harry Potter, it's really good for the first 3 or 4 games, and it slowly ramps up.
Yeah.
Problem is, the more it ramps up, the more random it gets, and the more it feels like you're not determining. None of your strategy is actually mattering because there's so much randomization being thrown in.
And you don't really retain any of your progression.
Oh, that'd be so good. That's one thing they missed out of that game. Yeah. So yeah, no, Ascension I definitely would agree with.
Yeah.
My number 4 is a game. Is actually, when I got into board gaming, it was the first game of that batch. It was Pandemic and this one, which was Sheriff of Nottingham. A lot of people were just like, it's bluffing the game. It's such a simple mechanic, but it's done so well. I love the fact that it is entirely a useful strategy to completely tell the truth and actually win the game.
Yep.
I think the production design is really neat. I like the revolving. I think it's a very, very fast game. I've never had a bad game. Even when I lose, I still somewhat enjoy the play. There's one caveat, though. It is not a party game, but it's a good game if you've had a couple shots.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because
Yeah.
there's some people like my fiance who don't like bluffing and lying, but you get a few glasses into them, and they'll start enjoying themselves. They will not win the game, but they
I
will
only
enjoy
laugh
themselves.
because Brit's the same way. She that's her one thing. She doesn't like the bluffing games, and Sheriff of Nottingham sits there on the shelf collecting dust because of that.
Yeah, and once again, if she just had a little, was a little lightheaded,
Yep.
perhaps she would get into that. And the funny that is of all the games, like if we see bluffing or lying or anything like that or
Yeah.
bidding mechanics, generally we won't even take it off the shelf.
Yeah.
Sheriff was the first one, so it was one of those that kind of slipped in before we got into our tastes. But because of what it is, it survives,
Yeah.
and so.
Yeah.
But that being said, we'll never play it. We'll play it with 5 people. Like when we have, it is a party game without being a party game.
Yeah. And have you tried it yet with the expansion?
Yeah.
With the Merry Men expansion?
We just saw that, but we haven't tried it. No.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet either. My other friend, the one who has the biggest collection, he said that it doesn't really add to it. In fact, it takes something away from it. So, I mean, that's something
So
to be
with
careful
that,
of.
we'll go to number 3. I'll do mine this time first, just to spice things up. I have to put a cooperative game on here, and of all the cooperative games, the one I think would get the most people into it is a game which you feel as if you have a chance of winning throughout the entire game, where there's tension, but you don't feel as if you're getting discouraged.
Yep.
So I picked Castle Panic. I know.
Really? You feel like you have a chance to win
I have only lost Castle Panic once.
without expansions?
With expansions, actually,
expansions,
yeah, we've actually, there are certain expansions that run better than others. The Mage's expansion, for example, it makes the game easier. The Engineered expansion makes the game harder. But here's the thing about the game: Castle Panic welcomes you to alter the game however you wish. It doesn't say you are wrong. It's against the theme of the game if you modify the bag.
Yes.
And the game's like, swap them out however you want. Like, here's the default, but play around, So we generally do that. We generally will play around. We'll tweak the bag. So it's not just, here's a 5, a 4, and a 3, and a 5, and a 4, and a 3, and a 5. Like, is there any chum? No, not anymore, because every expansion takes out the 1 hit and replace them with 3 or 4 hits, and they don't make the game actually that much. It's like Onirim, because all the expansions make the game easier. That's a long story, but the expansions in Castle Panic definitely make it more difficult. But they're not. I feel that there are ones better than others, like the Dark Titan we've played with, and he's definitely difficult. But the Wizard expansion is fun. It adds a lot of fun to the game. But even the base Castle Panic is not. And also, I might add, if you're a sci-fi, you do Star Trek Panic, which is awesome.
I prefer that one over Castle Panic. I enjoy the mechanic of actually moving the starship because it actually changes how the game. Because all of a sudden, that guy who's 3 away from you can't hit. Someone's like, okay, I'm just going to move the ship on my turn. Then you can smack him. And, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So Castle Panic, that's my number 3.
Okay. Now, my number 3 would be Descent 2.0. Not 1.0.
Classic dungeon romp.
Yes.
I don't know. There's a lot of dissent for me because I think that a gateway game should be something like I'm going to play Descent, and you show the shelf of Descent, which you can actually see in the shot, and you go, holy! Like that would intimidate me as you whip out that off the shelf. It's like I wouldn't call Gia or say Gloomhaven Gateway because you whip out this big box and someone's like, okay, I think I need to get a doctorate. So explain yourself.
So the reason why I say that one is a personal gateway game is because that one is actually what started this, along with the number 1 game.
So it is your gateway game?
It is my gateway game. When I first showed the wife this game, and we tried it out the one night, and we played it, and then she's just like, we should get some more of that. I'm like, okay. So I ordered some more, and we played with some more. She's like, yeah, we should get some more of that. I'm just like, okay. Next thing you know, and all this.
It's interesting. I don't know what game prompted us to buy more games. I think what it was. It was Carcassonne for her. That's why, which is weird. Carcassonne for me is not number 1, but Carcassonne's on the list because I think it was our gateway game, or it was Nicole's gateway game. Because then she got Carcassonne, and then she's like, I was like, I'm gonna buy Carcassonne. I'm like, go ahead. And then she came back with Carcassonne and 5 expansions. Like, they gave me a deal. I'm like,
because it was on sale.
Yeah, they gave her a deal with a Calgary Comic Con. I'm like, okay, I guess we're playing Carcassonne all the time.
Yep.
We rarely play Carcassonne. She plays it by herself all the time.
You know, and that's the funny thing. The games that like sparked our game collection
Yeah.
don't get played as much as they used to.
You think you would get a lot of play at a Descent considering how much you own?
Well, you know, and it just recently the other day, you know, even Brittany was just kind of like, I want to play Descent. I'm like, well, yeah, but player count. She's like, I want to play Descent. Okay, we're going to play Descent. So we played Descent. So it depends on the mood, really.
Now, is that entirely competitive or is it cooperative?
No, that one's entirely cooperative.
Cooperative, okay.
Well, okay, sorry.
'Cause I haven't played Descent.
It's cooperative, but if you're using the app, you can have 4 guys and then the app's doing all the overloading. Or you can have 5 people playing and then that 5th person is doing the big
So the
nasty,
GM.
the
yeah.
GM.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is standing there and just being like, die, you know, oh, that's a poison trap.
I see. For me, I don't know. I would never want to play a GM board game that's competitive, where the GM is basically playing against players. I always think that I would only play a GM game if I'm the GM and I'm playing with my group.
Yes.
Because I'm a storyteller. That's like, you know. So it's one of those things where, oh, you get to be the guy that tries to kill the players. I'm like, and do I play anyone? Like, no, you play the hand of fate. I go, I don't feel victory. I don't feel motivation. Like, what's my motivation? Who's my character? Who do I play? Am I little short midget with a red cloak, bald guy? Mm-hmm. And says, I, you know, as for you to know and for me to, it's for me to know and for you to find out.
You know, it's funny you mention that because, yeah, Descent does that where the bad guy is this faceless overlord. But there is one game that I have, which is called Dungeon Saga, where each time you play it, the main bad guy that you're playing is, so it's a 1v all.
Yeah.
Actually is a named
Yeah, because that's how Fury of Dracula works, kind of. There's one person everyone's trying to kill, and then he's the guy that tries to escape them. That I have no problem with. That one, that interests me.
Yeah.
But the idea of someone just being, it's like playing playing Rising 5. Well, you can use the app, or some poor schmuck gets to set it and just go, "You're wrong. You're right. You're wrong. You're right." Can we play with the app, please?
Yeah,
Number 3.
exactly.
So on to number 2, and I'll go first again.
Yes.
My number 2 is a relatively new one because it's the one thing that can get. They say gateway games, like you bring your friend over, like, oh, I'm not really interested in gaming. Oh, I'm actually really interested in gaming, and I just don't know what to play. Or you bring like your buddies over and go, and there's like one guy. It's like when I got into sushi, everyone was eating sushi. I was give sushi a try, but we're all in the same age category. We're all basically the same type of people. But if there's a game, I was like, okay, how do I get my mother into this? How do I get my older sister who hikes for a living and likes photography and has never played a game, where the entire extent of their gaming is, hey, let's play Cards Against Humanity for the 14th time. Like, you want to play something else? No, let's play that because it's fun. I go, okay, it was fun the first 13 times we played it. I know every card now. Because Cards Against Humanity is limited to the number of cards you have.
Yep.
So I tried to see if there was games that you could get people into that have never played and you would never think to play. Where they were like, I want to try this now. And with her, I got her into playing a game and that she lost. And it was Sagrada. Because this is a classic. It's very simple. It's not like Role Player. Role Player's not a gateway game.
No.
But Sagrada is very much, because it's simple. You're making stained glass windows and you're rolling dice. You like dice. The dice is a common thing. I'm used to rolling dice and moving my Monopoly hat across. Like, this is just like that, except nothing like that at all. You roll dice and you place the dice based on color and die arrangement. And it's a very simple game unless you're watching Geek and Sundry and they have no clue how to play that game, to the point that they did a playthrough video, which is noisy. It's a pet peeve. They played through, did a rules description, forgot a critical rule, then played the game, forgot a critical rule, and through the whole thing, I'm like, you can't do that. There's like 2 rules in the game. Dice can't, numbers can't be beside same numbers, and colors can't be beside the same. They remembered the number, they forgot the color, and everyone broke that rule. Yeah, of course the game's gonna be a lot easier when you can put colors next to each other. I'm staring at it going, you can't do that. Might have been the other way around. It's either they kept on putting like numbers together or they're putting like colors together. But point is, like, the game has two rules.
Yep.
You grab a die, you follow that pattern. You get points if you can adhere to that pattern. Done.
Yep.
I've literally not trusted Geek and Sundry ever since. I'm thinking, Will Wheaton get a rule wrong in tabletop because it's about entertaining. Your video is literally, it's like Rodney doesn't get anything wrong.
Yeah.
And if he does, he really owns up to it. And Rado has a commentary track,
Yep.
which actually will tell you things you got wrong post haste. They have not corrected the video for Sagrada. It's still wrong to this day.
Oh.
So anyway, so Sagrada, it's a very simple game. The dice are beautiful. The whole game is beautiful. And I know you get Sagrada, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, I played D&D." Well, there's a great game that's similar to that called Role Player. But the point is that the die placing is a very simple mechanic that's used in a lot of amazing games. This is a game people will lambast for being simple because that's the whole mechanic. But I think that's what's beautiful about it.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then I think that my number 2 suffers from the same thing. And, it's a very simple game. The concept is very simple, but, it's also a game that you can rattle off really quickly, and that's Roll for It.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will totally go there. I will go there.
Yeah, because that one, I even look back through my stats, and I think since we've been tracking our stats, I think we played that game like a total of 36 times.
Yeah.
Like a ridiculous number of times. And anytime, like, people are just kind of, even when we're in between different games or we're waiting for people to show up, you're just like, okay, well, let's whip up Roll for It. People are just like, well, yeah, but we have to learn a game. I'm like, okay, roll dice,
Quite literally,
match them.
yeah.
And they're just like, oh. Next thing you know, they're just like, haha, take that. I've got that one.
Yeah,
the
you
learning
can
curve
print
is
the
just-
rules in the back of the box.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you can print the rules in the back. It's like, here's the game. Here are the rules.
Yeah.
Done.
Roll, match, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so that one, and then instantly people are like, got anything else like that? Why, yes, I'm glad you asked.
I have a game called Sagrada you can play. No, I would totally agree. Roll for It is a damn good gateway game.
Yeah.
It's not on my list just because I felt that. I can see things. Someone you getting into a game will hit Roll for It, hit, and then they'll leave it kind of behind, and they'll go. And it's like when you have a cucumber roll. Mm-hmm. You go, oh, I want to try sushi, and then you never have a cucumber roll again.
Yes.
Like for me, like I said, I never eat cucumber or avocado rolls. I have nigiri and dynamite rolls. I never have cucumber rolls again.
Yep.
And Sagrada is it's a very classic maki. Mm-hmm. You still have maki because maki is nice and simple. It's tuna and it's a basic sushi, but yeah, I will still have maki.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, number one. Now, you want to rock paper scissors? Who gets to go first?
Sure.
All right. So that means until you win, you get to decide. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
You cut my paper.
Oh, I cut your paper. I go. Okay, so I get to go. I get to decide. I forgot the rules for rock paper scissors. I write rules for a living. I forgot the. I should have done. I should have done the whole. It's fire! I can't see the microphone. Here we go. So number one is it's going to pop up a lot whenever we talk about games, and when it comes to gateway games, I think a gateway game should have a rule where it's a game where it's like a one-page rule, like the rules are one page, and you can say to someone, "I know these will be intimidating, but quite literally, this game is it's like one concept, right? Mm-hmm. You have one action. You could put down a card. You can turn cubes into other cubes, and you can claim point cards, and that's it." That's the entire thing, front to back, nothing complicated, and that was Century Spice Road.
Okay, haven't played that one.
Now, Century Spice Road. Apparently, this game. I think Splendor is very, very similar to it, and a lot of people say that this game kicks Splendor out. So Splendor gets because you start with two cards, right? You start with two cards. One gives you two yellow cubes. One upgrades a cube, either one's two spots or two cubes, one spot, and that's it. You can do one of four things: pick up a card from a flop. Play a card, pick up your cards, claim a point card. Mm-hmm. And if you have 3 or 4 players, okay, go. All right, and how are you guys doing? Oh, it's my turn already. And so there's no downtime. So you never feel bored. You are constantly, unless you have those people that are really bad at analysis paralysis. I'm not. I look at the board, and then 3 seconds later, I know what I'm doing, and then I have to wait. All right, it's my turn now. I'll say Eastern Wonders is like, once again, you start with Century Spice Road, you move on to Eastern Wonders, because Eastern Wonders is that, but with 3 extra steps. It's a good game. I'll enjoy the heck out of it because it's a lot more thematic because you're actually moving a boat around and trading.
Yeah.
But they took that concept and then made it a bit more complicated. So literally, I imagine the third one's going to be even more complicated than that. So this was a very basic game with 3 rules. This is a basic game with 5 rules. The next one's going to be, I assume, a spice version of, I don't know, Stone Age. Like something that's like, well, this got really crazy really fast. I go, yes, it's scaling you up. That's why I think it's a great gateway game, because you go from this one, the idea of introduces you to the cursed cubes.
Yeah.
Right? What do those cubes represent? Cinnamon, saffron, turmeric, and I don't know what the other one is, lychee or something.
Yeah.
But and I love the fact that saffron is somehow like tier 2, and it's like, I do believe cinnamon is not as expensive as saffron, but maybe the Middle East is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, Century Spice Road is very simple. It looks beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, it is right up there with that game that came out recently with the 3 Little Pigs, Grim Forest.
Oh,
When
yeah.
it comes to way overproduced for what the rules is, Grim Forest has like 5 rules, and it's a $60 game. This game is like $35. The cards are beautiful. The dice are metal. It comes with plastic cups. It gives you, like, literally, it's just like, this game is gorgeous. And you show it, like, we're playing this game, and you're like, what's the rules? Come down and sit and play. So I think which is weird. I've never used Century to get people into gaming, but but if we have 4 or 5 people and you don't know what you want to play, that's what you play.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah. And my number one for gateway game is one I use to actually get people into the more complex games, because I like games that have a little bit more of a meat to them.
Yeah.
And that one's Agents of Smersh. I know. Like, I say that one and people give me the same look, because unless people have played this game, they don't know what they're missing. In this game, basically, you're playing a spy trying to stop a similar...
Gargamel?
No, close.
No, it's not Agents of Smurf, Chris. It's
Not Agents of Smurfs. Agents of Smersh.
Damn, I had my hopes up.
So, kind of like James Bond, and you're all working together. And what ends up happening is, as you go around the world collecting intel, which you need to then use to stop Dr. Lobo. Yeah, that's his actual name, Dr. Lobo.
Okay.
You have encounters, and what the encounters are is they actually pull out a book that's about this thick. They flip to the encounter that you roll for, and then they read you, basically choose your own adventure style type of thing, and based on your skills, you can do certain things, and then you try to do something based on that paragraph. And so you're in a high-speed chase, your martial arts, or no, sorry, your marksman skill is this. You need to roll 2 successes. You roll, you got 2 successes.
I'm already bored.
Oh.
It's like you lost me. I was like,
It's a storytelling game.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
So, and that for me, that one, it's I found a lot of people, it sucks them into the, do you have something more than just, roll and move?
Yeah, let's play Arabian Nights.
It's exactly like Arabian Nights, but less complex.
Yes, but it seems like it's kind of like it's a gateway, but it's a gateway to worse games.
Depending on
It's like
how
we can play Near and Far, or we can play. But it's just like, because Arabian Nights is a game that people keep on telling me to play, and I'll mention to someone else, like, oh, someone wants to get me into Arabian Nights, and someone's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I own Arabian Nights, but you know what? We played it the one time. We played it once,
Yeah.
and afterwards we were just kind of like, yeah, if we feel like punishing ourselves, we'll play that again.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. The story is disjointed, whereas Agents of Smersh, the story is like it flows together.
All right, well, I'll play it.
There you go. And you'll see. It'll be good. I
Why
guarantee it.
Smirch or Smirch?
Smersh. It's basically a play off of. I think it's the James Bond. What was it? What was
MI6?
No. What was the bad guys?
Spectre.
Spectre. Yeah, I think it's a play on Spectre, is what it is.
Yeah, because those two don't sound anything like.
No, I don't know. It's just that's what I'm told.
All right, so that was our top 5 personal gateway games. So in order, for mine, 5 Carcassonne, 4 Sheriff of Nottingham, 3 Castle Panic, 2 Sagrada, and number 1 was Century Spice Road.
Mine was 5 was Ticket to Ride, 4 was Ascension, 3 was Descent 2.0, 2 was Roll for It, and 1 was Agents of Smersh with This Guy's Gonna Play.
Yes. I love the fact that he has it on his phone. I have it on a piece of paper, but I have my phone in my other hand. I just want to make sure I felt like I had to have it like this just so I have something tangible to read off of. So that's the top 5 personal gateway games. I am Chris.
I'm Dave Townsend.
It took him a second because there's no cue cards here. And that is it for today. We'll talk to you guys later.